Oh, hello. Hello there. You've just caught us in time for qualifying for round 4 of the FF Cup. The FF Cup being the drivetrain, the front engine and front axles will propel the car. And yeah, we're at round 4, and I've tried broadcasting a couple of times. It was having a bit of a flit, but I'm here now. And like I said, we're just about to start quali. He's going to ask if we're ready any second now. So we're at Deep Forest. It's round 4. The bop is high. It's a 3.5 mile track. And no one's on track. And it's dark, surprisingly. Now, I had a practice. I think I practiced at the wrong track. I was going to talk you through what and I'm trying to see if I do recognise. Yeah, this is the track I tried. For some reason, I thought I tried Trial Mountain. But obviously not. It's a tricky track. Look, they're asking if we're ready. What do I type? I know what I type. I cannot be influenced by those that seek destruction. So here we are then. Let me get myself settled. Jesus, sweat. Oh, they're just in and out of the pits. So yeah, there's rules to this, and I'll get to them. Matt Psycho in the chat saying evening. Skyjack saying good morning, dearest. Matt Psycho also saying I hear round 6 is Norderschleif. Yeah, you wish. Mama Homesick saying evening thingy. All okay with you? Yeah, I'm all good. Racer Brown saying hello, my G. Racer Brown saying how are we? I'm good. I'm interested. I have an interest in life. So they've got, this is qualifying, and they're all going with different tyres. I think the rule is something like if they start, they've got to qualify on the tyre they start on. Here we go. 15 minutes of qualifying. Race start tyre must be used during qualifying, and then it's a 60-minute race, fastest first, standing start, and it's a free choice of tyres. Softs may only be used the once in the race, and racing hards must be used during the race. So they're the rules. We're at round 4, Deep Forest, and yeah, they're all in FF cars, full frontal, engine at the front, drive at the front. I'll tell you the table. It's only a little six rounder, 6-round championship, mini championship. So we are well on our way on round 4 with only a couple more rounds left after this. And I think Matt Psycho's got a perfect record. I think he's 3 wins from 3 races. And Matt Psycho is at the top of the pile. He is in the Peugeot. He's in the Porsche. So yeah, there he is.
Hello everyone.
He's one hell of a guy. And he's leading the championship, warming his tyres up before his flying lap. We'll watch his flying lap, why not? Homesick Alien in second on 49 points. So Matt Psycho's on 63 points. Homesick Alien on 49 points. Skyjacker in third on 41 points. Jokers in fourth on 31 points. That is fantastic. Racer Brown fifth on 29 points. Ensign Hewitt sixth on 29 points. Normans is seventh on 28 points. Lovely little tight battle there for fifth, sixth and seventh. Cthulhu is 8th on 22 points, 9th for Pat on 20 points, Mrs. Guesty is 10th on 19 points, ahead of Baza, who is 11th on 18 points, and then we have Mayumi in 12th on 9 points. So now we are looking at the Peugeot of Matt Psycho. I didn't tell you their car manufacturers, just because it's 6 rounds, people. I mean, it's not long enough for me to learn the who's driving what. I know, Skyjack is in an Audi, okay? Mayumi, I can't remember, he's in a Renault Megane. Pat is in a Swift. Homesick Alien is in a Megane. Ensign Hewitt's in a Swift. Mrs. Guesty is in an Audi. And Jokus is in the other Peugeot. So I do remember what they're in. I'm just joking. I just like to let you think that I don't care. Shadow Rider in the chat saying hello everyone. You're in the wrong place, man. Get yourself on that track. Mama Sykes in the chat saying evening peeps, evening thingy. Hope you are well. Let's have a good one, Matt. What, 4 from 4? Is that what you're hoping for? Unbelievable. Racer Brown saying yo Shadow Rider. How are we, you son of a bitch? I think we might cut out. Hello, testing. So we're well on our way to the first flying lap for Matt Psycho, and I don't know this track, but I did have a go on it today. It's a fun little track to be got on. So Racer Brown, before you said Racer Brown and Skyjacker have both posted times, as has Mumi and Pat. So the pot is stirred, and already you see Matt Psycho catching up with Skyjacker on track. Now Skyjacker doesn't have to yield. Matt should back out. Really, and he has. There you go. He's backed out of that one. And let's have a run through then. Everyone looks like they've done their first run of the day. This 15-minute qualifying session, which I think they've got to use what tyres they're starting the race on in qualifying, but they can change their tyres. So Matt Psycho starting with the soft tyre. Joker's also out there on the soft tyre in the other Peugeot, second fastest, with Ensign Hewitt in the Swift on racing hard tyres, third fastest. Who would have thunk it, eh? Who'd have thought that Swift had a little bit of pace in there? Pat just letting everyone by in fourth place at the moment, and the Audi there in fifth of Skyjacker. The Baz in his Rocco sixth, with Mayumi in seventh. Homesick Alien eighth that's the two Megans, that's seventh and eighth. Normans is in the Rocco, and he is ninth, with Mrs. Guesty in 10th, but yeah, she has set a time. For some reason it's not showing it, so no one's times are showing between each other's at the bottom there. So Skyjacker goes faster again, but only good for fourth fastest on those racing hard tyres. I don't believe there is a rain setting here, but it does look rather gloomy out there. Homesick Alien going faster again, and so is Joker. So Homesick Alien's gone second fastest in the Megane. He's on a set of soft tyres, and the Baz also finding a bit of pace and finding seventh spot on the grid in the Rocco. Right, he's just gone over the first corner. Who have we got here? Mrs. Guesty. So up to this first corner, I was finding braking at the 100-metre marker. Yeah, about third, just kissing that apex, getting on that accelerator coming up this straight. And this felt funny. The car kind of disappears from you, and a little lift I found going into this, because you've got to kill the speed. You can carry good speed through this part, but it's here. You've got to kill a bit of speed. It's quite tight right. Under the bridge, again, another tight right. And it's just a lift and coast for Mrs. Guesty there. And then you've got to swing it left, baby. And then swing it right. You've got to swing it all over, and then swing it straight left again. Lift going down the hill, waiting for that moment to get back on the accelerator. Heavy brakes down to second gear possibly for this corner. Virtually a hairpin, long straight now under two bridges. Let's open up that Audi. Let's really, really let her breathe. And it's flooring it all the way through the gears. And Skyjacker going faster again, but still only finding sixth. And we've got Mrs. Guesty is up 3/10 behind Skyjacker. Now heavy braking down here. Is it the 150 marker? Yeah, nearly heavy braking down to second gear. Another kiss on the apex, and then flooring it out of it, downhill, past the pit lane entrance. And this is a lovely piece of road, just to open her up, just to floor it in there, all the way, foot to the floor, all the way around this final corner, onto the final straight, and then you're heading for that line to see if you can bounce up another position, which she does, ahead of Skyjacker. Fantastic, fancy driving from Mrs. Guesty, and we got to enjoy that on board, so thank you very much, madame. So Matt Psycho is your pole sitter, 1.1 seconds ahead of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien will be looking, he'll be looking for a good result after Tuesday evening's nightmare is all I can actually call it. So he'll be wanting to bounce back stronger and badder. There's loads of chat going on. I'm not hearing it in my ear roll, so that's strange. Racer Brown also saying, I haven't, bud, just joined late back home. Oh, I thought you were in there. Shadow Rider saying, doing good, thanks. How are you doing? Gone me a couple of months, and I'll be back once the house is finished. There you go. And Racer Brown saying, going in blind and dry. No lube. No lube. I can't see you on the track, so I'm not sure you are here. Skyjacker, Matt Psycho is pole with a 32.6. Homesick Alien 1.3 seconds adrift in the blend. A 37 Renault Megane. Joker's doing mighty fine in the Peugeot. He's just missed that corner. Like I said, it's a tough section of road, and he's chewed a little bit of the barrier there, as Norman's in that sexy, sleek black Rocco finds himself second place on the front row. Matt Psycho pole, Norman second, Homesick Alien third, Joker's in fourth. We're all on soft tyres up to this point. Mayume is fifth fastest in his anime Megane, car 79. Ensign New at sixth on those hard tyres. So Ensign Newer may be the highest runner on the harder set of tyres. Mrs. Guesty next on softs, only 900ths off of Ensign Newer, and that car looks mighty thirsty and ready for a little sip of fuel as Matt Saga brings his in for a splash O-dash. Bazza is eighth, fastest behind Mrs. Guesty. He is on the racing hard tyre. I'm surprised he's got, well, they get a last run, I suppose. They've worn down the fuel. Skyjack has been in, I can't remember what tyre he was on. We'll see at the beginning of the race, it's no biggie. But we've got 5 more minutes left of this qualifying session. They're all coming in now, and if they weren't on hard soft tyres before, like Bazza and Pat, I believe they'll probably put on a nice set of shiny soft tyres for their last run. Matt Psycho then out there on a fresh set, lick, bruv, they're lit. And he's out there only 6/10 now, with Norman's time cutting that lead he had in pole in half. So the Rocco looking strong. Homesick Alien in the Megane as well. That's 3 different cars covered by 1.3 seconds in the top 3. That's not bad bopping, if you ask me. You see, put a 4-wheel drive on there, and well, they've cancelled them now. Joker's in the other pug, now on a set of fresh set of racing soft tyres. He'll be looking to make a leap. He's only got to find 600ths of a second to get Homesick Alien. Miami yet to go in, possibly. If he hasn't gone in, he's really looked after those tyres nicely. Ensign Ewart in the Swift, 6th fastest so far, and it looks like if he did come in and do a splash and dash, he's put hards on again. Mrs. Guesty on a fresh set of softs, only 900ths of a second to find to get the man ahead of her, and Skyjacker goes faster, up to 3rd fastest now, knocking Homesick Alien down a slot. And remember, Skyjacker has got some skin in this championship. They might not be able to catch Matt Psycho, but Homesick Alien and Skyjacker are dicing over that 2nd spot. Miyumi also going great guns in the Megane, goes 4th fastest, and still a run left in the car, possibly with the fuel. I don't think they'll get another lap after that one though. Homesick Alien up on Miyumi. So Homesick Alien could be in for 4th or 3rd. Again, they've got another run after this. Some of them are quite low fuel to say they've got another run. Joker 6th. He slipped down. We saw him in the top 3. Then it slipped to 4th. He's down to 6th now. He's on a run. We'll keep an eye on the Peugeot as he makes his way around this tricky track that is not Trial Mountain. That's what the championship table says, but it is Deep Forest. Under the bridges. Nice long straight for the Peugeot. That's what it likes. I've missed the sector. I heard it beep. I apologise. Through the hairpin. Skyjacker again going faster. Still 2 minutes on the clock of this qualifying session. And Skyjacker setting another time for third. We're watching Jokus make his way around. Homesick Alien. He's stayed in the same place? Was he behind Mumi? There we go. Jokus wasn't able to go faster. He's got another lap in it though. Matt Psycho.
Good evening, sir.
He's nipping around as Norman's still that second fastest man. No one really improving their positions, improving their times. Skyjacker calling it a day in this one. Homesick Alien still feels there's time there, and without Skyjacker, Mrs. Guesty putting a late lap in there for 8th fastest. 3:10. She's been hunting Ensign Ewart down throughout this whole session, and she got him. And the two Swifts at the back, and with that very, very long straight, well, two quite long straights at this track, doesn't surprise me the Swift is struggling on pace. Jokus at the moment slipping back into a position he doesn't want to be. Bazza did put the soft tyre on. He did go faster. He's put himself 6th. So he's knocked Jokus down another spot. So far then, Matt Psycho. No one's even tried. No one's even tried to take that pole from him today. He's planted it on the front at the beginning, and that's where he's been ever since. And you've got to say, this is Matt Psycho's cup of tea. In the chats, I've got the glasses on. Carbon Dwarf saying, hello thingy. Guesty saying, good evening, sir. And Skyjack saying, fuel, bud. Yeah, he ran out of fuel. It looks like a few of them will. Right then, where? People are crossing the line, and I can't keep track of that. Nothing's come up. Where am I? So, yeah, Norman's will be the next. Norman's has been pipped by the Alien, and the Alien's still on a run. So, Norman's, this will be his final run. I haven't seen any of his sectors. His fuel's low. It's gone. His fuel went. Oh, no, Mrs. Guesty. Whoa, Mrs. Guesty. Quick reactions there. Hopefully that didn't kill your time. 35.7 now. I doubt you lost that much time on your last run. Homesick Alien then. Pat's pulled out a time. Has he beat Ensign? Let's have a look. No, he's just got closer to Ensign. Homesick Alien is the man really to watch. I know there is people crossing the line. Someone's got in the pits because of fuel. Whoever just crossed the line, they didn't go any faster. I'm looking at the last person on track, aren't I? Well, he's the closest to taking pole. It's 3/10, so I'm not sure who's just ahead of him, though. It's probably Ensign or the Baz. They're going to come around to cross the line pretty soon. It was Matt Psycho going faster again, and Homesick Alien... Oh, takes it to within 1/10 of a second between himself and Matt Psycho. This, ladies and gents, is going to be a tough race. Let's have a quick look at that qualifying then. Matt Psycho getting a 32.6 right there before the end of the session, which is a good job because Homesick Alien was on his way with an absolute killer time. And I bet Homesick Alien thought pole was in the bag. And Guesty also saying Matt is on fire. Norman's is third. Great qualifying session from the Rocco there of Norman's. Skyjacker fourth. Mayumi starting in 5th. Bazza 6th. Jokus is 7th. Mrs. Guesty starting in 8th. 9th for Ensign Ewart. And 10th for Pat. Let's get back to the action. Oh, it's not happened yet. Let's get ourselves prepared for the action. And Matt Psycho saying, oof. Oosh. You are going oosh. Right, whoa. Let's not miss. What's that? What's the crack? We're starting in the pit lane. What did I miss?
Great query from MRS Guesty. Good racing, guys. Come on, Matt. Give it some welly.
Oh, Racer Brown's just come in, I believe. Oh, going in like he said, he's going in hard and dry. So Guesty saying great quali from Mrs. Guesty, great quali, and Mama Sight saying good racing guys. Come on, Matt, give it some welly. And Skyjacker saying gotta get round 8 in. RB in, sorry, RB. I ain't got my glasses on, all right? RB and R8 could be the same thing. Let's have a look then. There is Mr. Brown. Just back from a fresh delivery. In it. In it, like. Had a big drop-off. In a car park somewhere in the middle of nowhere. In a McDonald's car park. In a McDonald's bag. Skyjacker saying Specsavers much. Yeah, I've got some, all right? I'm just too lazy to go to my bag and get them. Why do you think I turned the talkie thing in? But she talks too quick. I can't hear what she says. So she's just really an alarm to let me know that you lot are talking to me. Ray, I don't think this is the real thing either. This is just... I think they're just enjoying seeing me do these settings. I'm starting to enjoy it. I used to moan about doing it every time, but I'm getting... you know, it's some sort of ASM for me. And there we see Matt Psycho having a practice start there. Do it again, Matt. I missed it. As we are... Ooh. No, he's going to pitch. So yeah, coming around this section is such a tricky track. It really is. Oh, Mayumi. There, high revs, accelerator about halfway, holding the handbrake, and a release, and I don't know, was that a good one? Up to second gear pretty quick. Looked like there was a bit of a stutter at the first release, but not a bad one. I do love a punchy start off the line. And Racer Brown getting himself accustomed to the track. It's a tricky track. He's going for racing hard. Ooh, check tyres. Who, me? Mayumi is on the softs. Racer Brown's on the hards. Mrs. Guesty is on the hards. Pat is on the hards. Homesick Alien hards. Norman's on the mediums. See, I didn't see who started what on qualifying. Ensign Hewitt on hards. Joker's on the softs. Skyjacker on hards. Bazza hards. Mayumi soft, is it? And Matt Psycho soft. Round and squidgy, Skyjacker says. They're checked. I've got myself a hot beverage here. I'm going to go attacking. I'm going to go for it, man. Thursday night racing, baby. The Cup. Yes, I've got to hold my little pinky out. I've got to be like very sort of... I'm posh on the stream. They think I'm posh. I talk really proper and I use big words like... The other day... Huge words. Yeah, like huge jargon. But no, the other day... What did I say? I was really... It was like... Because it was getting sunny and I used a really proper posh word for it. No, I've never said existential. I'll try and worm one in. Oh my God, Racer Brown is going so fast I'm having an existential crisis. I used it. Anyway, shush, go back to your book. I'm busy. Daddy's working. Mrs. Kesty's out there. We're going into the race. So here we are, we're at the grid. Daddy's going to take you through this one, don't you worry. You're here with Daddy Majik. And we're waiting for the race, and the lights won't start until I stop. So Matt Psycho on pole with Homesick Alien alongside him. It's go, go, go. Here at Deep Forest. Bit of a slow start for the Rocco. Give him a Yume a chance to jump him and make it a Renault 1, 2, 3. But Homesick Alien's going for it. Homesick Alien on the hard tyre also. My good golly gosh. And Matt Psycho gets it in there, gets those tyres nicely warmed up into the first corner. But it's still a threat from Homesick Alien, and Mayumi on the softs is a threat to the Alien further down. We've got Skyjacker ahead of Norman's. Norman's having a terrible start. We had someone really going wide then. Joker's into 6th, Racer Brown 7th, Pat 8th, Mrs. Guesty in 9th, Ensign Newer in 10th, and the Baz and Nater, I think that's the man we saw going exit left, was Bazza. It's cold tyres this first lap. Oh, and there we go. Mayumi did get the Alien, and it was expected with those soft tyres, and he's already done it. Cheeky bugger. He must have done it just as we pulled away to look at the rest of the grid. Cheeky. So Matt Psycho nearly a second lead so far on Mayumi, with a Homesick Alien on those hard tyres. Remember, he did really well last round on the hard tyres, holding position. It's down to these guys. Norman's on the mediums with Skyjacker on the hards. Then we've got Racer Brown on the hards up to 6th now. Jokers on the soft, struggling down in 7th. Got to get those tyres warmed up. Pat in 8th on the hard tyres with Mrs. Guesty all over the back of Ensign Newer, and Ensign Newer's finding himself, he's got an Audi rash. That's an Audi rash, mate, and you need some cream for it, because it's just about to burn. Come on, Mrs. Guesty. Slap it in there. Slap it around his face. Show him you've got a bigger one than him. And down into the braking zone. Oh, Mrs. Guesty, sorry. I gave you the curse. I've pulled away. So Matt Psycho then, and Mayumi, he's pulling away even further from Mayumi. Homesick Alien in 3rd with Skyjacker just ahead of Norman's race. He had a great qualifying 3rd on the grid, and he's getting, well, everyone is, so I'm not even going to say about his purples. And it's Racer Brown, who is the unknown quantity so far in this race, with a late entry just before flag out. And Joker's there in 7th on those soft tyres. Maybe he's playing the longer game, but he should really be making headway against some of those cars ahead of him. And I've just heard a swift sounding screech into the barrier, and did I? No, maybe not. There's Pat. He's all good. Ensign Newitt looks good. The Baz and Mrs. Guesty, after a small excursion, now looking at the back of Baz's Rocco, and it's the Baz that she's fighting in the championship in all reality, and it's the Baz that she wants to get ahead of. Meanwhile, somewhere up the front, Matt Psycho is 1.5 seconds now ahead of Mayumi, and they've left Homesick Alien for dead. He's nearly 2.5 seconds adrift, with her Skyjacker a further 2.4 seconds behind Homesick Alien. But Norman's, he's coming back to life. He wants, I pressed F12, guys. I really wants to get his name up for you and stuff. He's in the Sirocco, and he's coming for it. He wants that hard, tired Audi in front of him out of the way. And he's just tucking in. Oh, not much space there. And Skyjacker, king of defence, will not give you a quarter. The Normans, so do not expect any quarter given. And he doesn't make mistakes. You're in for a long ride there, unless you can make some magic happen and show us that finish excellence that we know racing Finnish people have. You could say finishing school. Ooh, a little rub on the Skyjacker there. And now it's all about brute force. And Racer Brown has entered the chat. Yes, he has. Indeed, and now Norman's trying his hardest to get by down the straight, and we've got 3 wide virtually coming up to the corner, and Racer Brown just tucked up behind this little Audi Rocco fun fest. And there is Joker's as well. 4 cars all nose to tail, and Joker's grabbing himself a Racer Brown position there as Norman still stares at the back of the Audi, and he's got to watch out. Joker's won't mess about. Jokers won't be polite in this situation. He likes positions. And Joker's there trying to get the moves done. Get the moves like Jagger is Joker's, but his car's swaying around over the hill. And Norman's car a lot more planted as he goes through the first corner ahead of Joker's. And it's Audi, Rocco, Peugeot, Rocco, then Swift. Two Swifts absolutely having a bish bash bosh here in 8th and 9th. It's a holiday for the Suzuki Swifts ahead of Baz's Rocco, and he's pulled further away from Mrs. Guesty, who is trying to tame the beast that is the Audi TT. Matt Psycho a further 4 seconds. Mayumi just cannot live with the pace of the Psycho. Homesick Alien still holding strong in 3rd, and I think he'll have a fight on his hands later on with a Skyjacker, but it'll be about fuel, and I think that Audi is one of the thirstier cars out there. Norman's and his train is ganged along with Joker's and Racer Brown all in tow, are giving us a rate delay. Oh, Joker's going absolutely haywire over around the wall of death, and it looks like Norman's has had a bite of the barrier, and that's put Racer Brown now into a prime position to go forth and attack the Skyjacker, as Norman's now has to defend 6th. He was 5th, and now he's defending 6th on those medium tyres versus Joker's softs. Pat still ahead of Ensign. Ensign's fallen into Rocco County, and the Rocco wants to do a little bit of overtaking, doesn't he? Look at him around the outside. Bazza is up for this. Bazza is committing to the roll, and he's gone around the wide way. Ensign's on the shortcut on the inside, and they're still neck and neck coming out the corner, but I've got to give it to the Baz. The Baz is just ahead, and next on his list is Pat. You better look out. You better beware. Baz is on his way, and he's coming with a big grin of teeth at the front, gnarling away. So the Baz on the moves, in the fight with the Swifts, and he's going for a move around. He's on the hard tyres, but so are the Swifts, I believe. And Ensign Ewart trying to grab an opportunity back in amongst it, and the Baz out wide. Ensign Ewart almost on the inside of him, but Ensign Ewart tucks in behind a long tow down a long straight, and you'd expect the Rocco to leave the Swifts for dead. At the moment, Matt Psycho still leads from Mayume and Homesick Alien 3rd. I know the battle is just out of our sight, and I want to keep a check on how that little battle in 4th, 5th and 6th going. And Bazza going for a move on the inside of the Pat, and he does. He commits it. No, he doesn't get it. He does not get it. And Pat rides another day in 8th, as Bazza now has to deal with Ensign again. Every time he goes for the move on the Pat, he's got that pesky, it's like mosquitoes. The Swifts are like the little mozzies. When you're batting one away, another one's there. And oh my God, what a beautiful train of cars coming down the straight, heavy braking into the first corner. Come on, Baz. Baz sends it up the inside of Pat. Pat's, where is Pat? Pat's gone all sort of squiggly, and Bazza gets it done. Right then, back to Norman's up in 4th. Oh, pathetic, bloody... I'm blaming Bazza, Pat and Ensign for that, for having a race. But Norman's has somehow got back up into 4th. Skyjacker in 5th, Racer Brown 6th, and Joker's still all in that action. And here we are, seeing it from the perfect view of Joker's as he has a look up the inside of Ensign Ewart. Joker's racing soft tyres still looking quite pristine at this point in the race. We are nearly 9 minutes, into a 60-minute marathon here, and it's all about the FF car, the drivetrain FF, not the full frontal, which I thought it was. And there we go for the Joker's going for a move down the inside of the Brown, and he pulls it off, and that's a beauty, an absolute beaut by Joker's. Nice touch, old chap. And Joker's on his tail, Racer Brown on his tail, coming around the very fast final corner hoping to get a tow as Jokers now sets his sights on the Audi, and Jokers has got the softer tyre on, is in primo condition now. It is at its vital temperature, it's at its best, and this is when he needs to get those moves done and not be held up by a big chunky Audi on hard tyres. Meanwhile, Norman's mediums starting to come alive, and he's building up a gap between himself and Skyjacker, but he doesn't want to overdrive that car. Meanwhile, Matt Psycho leads this race 6.6 seconds. It's an absolute whitewash out the front there. Unbelievable stuff from the Peugeot. Mayumi in the Megane on those soft tyres, 8 seconds now ahead of the Alien, and I'm looking at the map and it says 21 seconds is the pit time, not including tyre change and fuel, so just 21 seconds to drive in, drive out. Mayumi's still got to use those hard tyres at some point in this race, as has Matt Psycho. They've gone for an early march, an early lead. Homesick Alien saving his soft tyres, saving them for later in the race. Norman's trying to come back from a terrible start. Qualified third, dropped down to at least sixth, I think, that I counted. And now back up into fourth. Skyjacker being harassed and harangued by the Peugeot of Jokers. Jokers has pace today. Didn't have the best qualifying. It started well, but near the end tailed off and got pipped a few times and was out of place on the grid, I would say there. And now making the move done and up and in to fifth. Jokers now needs to pull away from the Audi and the Rocco and really open up a bit of a gap to give himself some breathing space for when he puts the hard tyres on later. Skyjacker now's got a whole new problem on his hands, and it's not called Jokers anymore, it's called Racer Brown. Let's get on board. Whoa, so what a beautiful sight. We're on board with Mr. Brown, and Joker's having to go with a little bit of a radical race line there to do a bit of defence from the Audi coming back. And Quick Up in the chat saying, great overtake by Jokers on RB. It was a classic. So Racer Brown we're on board with. And Jokers now up into fifth, Homesick Alien third, Mayumi in second, Matt Psycho first. We've got to check out the Ensign Newer and Pat battle. But first of all, we'll see how these guys do down the straight into the braking zone. The Audi, I absolutely think it's got... No, it hasn't got straight line speed on the Peugeot. I thought he was all over the back of Jokers. Jokers gets into the hairpin quite nicely, gets out of the hairpin quite nicely, and the status is of quo between 5th, 6th and 7th. Boom. Matt Psycho leads by 9 seconds. Mayumi is 9 seconds now ahead of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien, the top racing hard tired person out there. Then Norman's on the medium tyre, which I don't actually think is criteria. It's softs and hards, but he's gone with medium. I suppose it's a nice happy medium. Jokers is fifth, still in that battle with Skyjacker and the Brown, all up and in his sixth. Then we have the Baz, who made a recent overtake on Pat and Ensign. Ensign Hewitt now is 3 seconds ahead of Pat. Pat must have had a bit of a frisky lap and misses Guesty on those hards, struggling with the Audi, getting it into the corner, sliding it through. It's beautiful to see, but is it fast? Matt Psycho, 10 seconds. Where's the battle then? Where's the battle? It's here, isn't it, with Jokers, Skyjacker, and Mr. Brown. Joker's using the softs up. You can't use them again in the race. You can only use them for one stint. So his option will be mediums or hards in the next pit. Oh, he's gone a little wide there, and Skyjacker is not close enough to get a bump up out of it, but he closes in on Jokers, and Jokers really needs to be concentrating and getting on with some cracker-jack laps. Matt Psycho leads 10.5 seconds now by Mayumi. Mayumi's tyres getting to the end of their cycle. He's on a quarter of a tank of fuel. Matt Psycho Well, he's about halfway between a quarter and a half, so super stuff. What are we going to say? That's about 32% fuel still. No, more. 35% fuel left. And Mayumi dead on a quarter, 25% left for Mayumi. Homesick Alien, he's about what, 43% fuel on board still. And Norman's has come back at him, but Norman's just above the quarter mark. He's probably on about 29% fuel left on board for him. 15 minutes into this race. Jokus around about 27% fuel still on board, but his front right tyre looking very aggravated indeed. Skyjacker next in 6th. Oh, he's lovely. He's like around Homesick Alien area, isn't he? He's on I'd say about 42% fuel. And sitting pretty there for Skyjacker with Racer Brown behind him on similar fuel as well. They're all saving as well as each other. No one's getting a march on the fuel save situation. Bazza's down to 25% fuel and his tyres aren't even used yet. Ensign Ewer, he's on 25% of fuel and he's giving Bazza what for? He's only a half a second behind him. Pat is now 5.2 seconds behind Ensign Ewer. He's on 24% fuel with Mrs. Guesty, sorry, just above 25%. I'd say 26% fuel left on board, and the Racing Hards still look fresh, bruv. Where's that race? Joker's then. Joker's clinging on, and the guys behind him not even breaking a sweat yet on those tyres, and not using that fuel up half as much as some of the other guys in the field. And what's going to go first on Joker's car, Peugeot? Will it be the tyres or the fuel? Because it looks like, to me, my money's on the tyres. That front right tyre is looking angry, aggravated. A doctor would give you cream for that tyre and tell you to stop scratching it. Homesick Alien has been passed by Norman's. Norman's on those racing medium tyres, going very wide out of that corner. If he does that too often in the sight of the stream or other competitors, they will notify the stewards. And again, Homesick's gone in. Homesick's gone in earlier than I would have expected. Maybe he saw the pace of Norman's on the medium tyre and thought, do you know what? I'd rather be on the medium tyre than the hard. I am going to sacrifice a bit of that fuel. 17 minutes into the race, he still had a quarter, 28% of fuel left on board. So that's a two-stopper. I reckon he could get that to go to the next window about 40 minutes into the race. Matt Psycho continuing on and unimpeded, 12 seconds ahead of Mayumi. And Norman's on the move. His tyres barely touched. Jokus has had a bang with the barrier. And Skyjacker has seized the opportunity to come on through. And Racer Brown trying to break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Well, the day destroys the night. Night divides the day. You tried to run, tried to hide. Break on through to the other side. Come on, Brown. And sorry, Jokus. I'm not nothing against you. Just Brown's on the move. What can you do? Mayumi into the pits. The tyre too angry for him. Matt Psycho happy with the angry tyre. He's taking it round for another trip. And Norman's in 3rd. Skyjacker, where did the alien come out? My word. 10th. He did go for the medium, and the nighttime, it's bloody coming in it. It's another bloody nighttime race. Oh no, it's not that dark. It might not get dark. Maybe it's just as a... I like to have a moan, and I can see there's an opportunity for a moan coming up. So Mayumi went in with Bazza in 7th, Ensign and Pat, all of them going in to get rid of their hard tyres. But I believe the fuel was virtually there as well. Matt Psycho still taking that aggravator tyre around, but there is no one there to give him any hassle. As Norman's now, his fuel is flashing, and he will need to pit. Skyjacker yet to even... It could be a one-stopper from Skyjacker at this rate. Could he? Could he? He couldn't. Could he? Could he? Could he? Could he? Could he? I don't know. I don't think he could. I don't think he could. I mean, if you divvy that up into 4 sectors, we're 20 minutes in. What's that? Around about 7 hours, 4. That's 5 minutes a sector. We've got 10 or 5 minutes a shot. No, he's only used 3 divided with 21 is 7 minutes. He's got just under... He couldn't. That's what see, did you hear that? That's me doing the math. And when you're driving, trying to work out that fuel, did you see how much I had to stop and concentrate and try and work out what chunks, what like bloody Trivial Pursuit chunks were, and how much time they were worth? And by then, by even the bit where I think, right, how long did that take? I've hit a wall, so I can't do the math. Matt Psycho very close to the bottom of his fuel, and Skyjacker, I don't think he can go halfway with that, but Racer Brown's just gone by. No, he hasn't gone by yet. But Racer Brown doing very well on the fuel as well. I wouldn't be surprised these two are maybe aiming for a one-stopper. That would be very impressive, but we'll see. I don't know. I've been wrong with fuel. I'm very hard to read the fuel. Yumi has made his pit stop. He's put the mandatory hard tyre on, and this is going to be a tricky one for him now, getting used to the car on a totally different set of tyres. The car is going to have no grip whatsoever. It's going to be sliding around all over the place. And Miyumi at the moment 4.5 seconds ahead of the Alien. The Alien on a set of mediums did a 34.6 last time out. And yes, Homesick Alien will be absolutely seeing the back of the American's car as a red rag. The leader in. Look how busy that pit lane is. My word, everyone's come out to have a look at this Peugeot. They want to make sure it hasn't got an extra turbo boost on it. It hasn't got a rocket on the back. So everyone staring intently at the back of that Peugeot thinking, how does it go that fast? One life, live it. Good advice, Peugeot, thanks. Racer Brown coming up close to the leader with Skyjacker along. Skyjacker maybe letting Racer Brown through for a tow. Still 37 minutes on the clock, and I thought Racer Brown had dropped it. And now they'll be getting a lovely tow off of Matt Psycho, who makes his first stop of the evening and puts on medium tyres. He's gone quite late on those racing softs to minimise the time he's on the slower tyre, whilst Racer Brown and Skyjacker catch a lift off his toe, and both their fuels... No, Racer Brown's fuel's still not flashing yet, but Skyjacker's has just begun to flash. And that is a bummer, isn't it, man? It's a real bummer. Yeah, man. Bummer, dude. He's like 6 minutes off the halfway mark. Taking the pit time into... And it's not even... Still not going to cut it down. Miyumi, 2 seconds ahead of the Alien. He's managing 35s, but Homesick Alien early 34s on those medium tyres. And Homesick Alien is chugging along. And he's catching up with the American. Normans has gone onto the soft tyre, so he is going to be a threat. He is the danger. He's getting purples. So Homesick Alien, there you go. Skyjacker not quite halfway, has brought it into the pit lane. Racer Brown stays out. Racer Brown still with that hope that he could go virtually halfway, maybe save a bit more fuel in the second half of the race. And on the soft tyres, you wouldn't lose as much time with the grip, because you can coast through the corners a bit better with grip, carry the speed, and not lose and use as much fuel. Norman's then up into 5th as Skyjacker tops up. It was Jokers he was racing earlier in this race. Let's see. Jokers may have stolen a march on Skyjacker, going on to the medium tyres while Skyjacker's been going around on the hards, but no. Skyjacker comes out only just ahead of Jokers. Where are we? We're here. There's Jokers. There's Skyjacker. Relatively, they are close to each other, but the bloody cameras don't... There you go. There's Skyjacker. But I would have thought Jokers would have caught a little bit more up on Skyjacker there, with Skyjacker on those hard tyres. And Joker's going around on a brand new set of mediums. Now Skyjacker's gone to the soft tyre. And he's 12 seconds adrift of Norman's. With 35 minutes left of this race. Skyjacker's topped it right up. Can he? Can he do the impossible? Can Racer Brown? We know what you're trying to do, boys. I just don't think it's possible. I think you'll have to have a splash and a dash at the end of the race. Matt Psycho, never out of the lead of this race, even when he pitted. Still in the lead. Homesick Alien now up into 3rd. He caught Norman's, was it? Oh, Miami. He caught Miami up rather swiftly, didn't he? Yeah, it was quicker than I thought. And we're not going to get a replay. The McGann is already ahead of the McGann. So Homesick Alien wasted no time. And whilst we were at the replay, in true ITV fashion, Racer Brown came into the pit. So Matt Psycho, 20-second lead on Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien on the mediums, Matt Psycho on the mediums. Then we have Miyumi on the hard tyre, getting that hard tyre out of the way. So his final stop, he can go for a set of mediums, I would gather. I think he's already used the softs in the early part of the race. Norman's, he's using his softs now, and look how quickly he's caught up the cars ahead. And this is going to be feisty. Feisty, I say. Still not halfway in this race yet, and it's been goddamn exciting. We've lost touch with the guys at the back. I've got to get further back there to see how my Ensign and Pat are getting on, and Mrs. Guesty. And the Baz should be ahead of Ensign Ewart, so something's gone amiss down here. There, Ensign Ewart is ahead of Jokers. Come on, Ensign. He's put a set of soft tyres on, and he's rattling that Swift's bones. Jokers, though, does look like he's coming back at him on the medium tyre. And is the Swift any kind of match for the Jokers? Oh, Jokers has gone wide. Jokers have gone wide, and Basil was there where Jokers wanted to get back on. And you've got to check where you're driving on, Jokers, I'm afraid, mate. I've got to be on the Baz's side there. It was down to him to avoid you. You were off track. And Ensign Ewart then in 7th, Jokers in 8th, and the Baz in 9th. They've dropped Pat, who's 12 seconds adrift of them. He's gone to the medium tyre, and Mrs. Guesty onto the medium tyre also. But the battle is here with Baz, Ensign Ewart, and Jokers. Now, why is Skyjacker just ahead of us? I'll go and have a look at that. Racer Brown's made his pit stop. He's come out 5th ahead of Skyjacker. Ensign then stays ahead of the Baz. This is a tough battle down here from Jokers on the mediums, Baz on the mediums, Ensign on the softs, trying to get away. I've got to get away. I've got to fly away. Ooh. So Matt Psycho leads 20.5 seconds ahead of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien, though, being caught fast. Normans, we should have kept an eye on Normans. Look at him go. Already past the American, who's on the racing hard tyres at the moment. And he's trying to keep a track of Homesick Alien. And he's on his way, isn't he? Mighty from the Flying Finn. Then we have Racer Brown in 5th. He pipped Skyjacker, who was ahead of him before the pit stops, I suppose, but Racer Brown come out the pits in 5th, ahead of Skyjacker, and the big question is, are Racer Brown and Skyjacker going to try and make that fuel last to the end of the race? It seems like a ridiculous idea, like it's impossible. On board with Normans at the moment, he's put himself a set of racing softs on, and he is up for a bit of a fight with the McGann that's ahead of him of Homesick Alien. As they hit the straight, Homesick Alien Homesick Alien's on the medium set tyre, the racing medium, so the slower of the two tyre. What's his lap times looking like? He's doing low 34s. Norman's, he's doing mid 34 as well, so Norman's not quite getting the pace out of that tyre. Mayumi keeping him in eyes distance on his hard tyres. Then Racer Brown went soft, and I think they're burning through the fuel, so they're not fuel saving. They're not fuel saving at all, these two. They're absolutely crunching it. They're cranking it. They've cranked it up another level. They're in the 33s. Racer Brown and Skyjacker cranking it another level. Ensign Yu also on the soft tyre, and he has dropped Bazza. He's dropped him. Dropped him like a bad smell. And Joker's then 2.5 seconds behind the Baz, and he's not catching him like we thought. Pat in the Swift in his own little race there, ahead of Mrs. Guesty, who has found the Audi quite temperamental this evening. Matt Psycho hasn't found the Peugeot temperamental. Matt Psycho is absolutely indulging us in a festival of speed and pure skill, and it's been delicious. 4 from 4. I don't know, I would need Pat to work out, but Pat's on track. But I would need Pat to work out if anyone has ever gone through a whole championship winning every race. I don't remember it happening. I don't think it has happened. If anyone would have done it, I would have thought Binko would have done it on a Sunday. But I don't know. I honestly not sure. But at the moment, Matt Psycho, 6 rounds of the F Cup, and he is just about to take, well, he's 28 minutes away from taking his 4th win from 4. Oh no, I've got my answer already. Skyjacker saying never. It's never happened. No one's won every single race in a championship. So Matt Psycho looking to break new VRC records here at, well, he won't break it here, but he'll be on his way. He'll be a 4th. No, not 4th. He'll be way over halfway. I'm not breaking it down to fractions. He'll be on his way to getting it. Homesick Alien, 20 seconds. Let's not discount Homesick Alien. He's only 20 seconds behind at Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho has got more fuel on board than the Alien, but he did pit a lot later. And Matt Psycho's going to have to do a run at the end of this race on a set of hard tyres. Whereas 33.8s now as his fuel drops off, and his tyres are just in a beautiful position. And Norman's then pushing hard in the Rocco, as Mayumi on his hard tyres is just clinging on in this phase of the race, waiting so he can put a set of mediums back on that McGann. Well, not back on, he hasn't used mediums yet, but he can put a faster set of tyres on that McGann. Mr. Brown's catching him on those softs. Mr. Brown's got the fastest lap of the race, a 1:32.821. A wham babaluba da wap bamboo. And yeah, Racer Brown absolutely chugging along and bringing Skyjacker along for fun, for the fun of it. And Skyjacker smelling a podium. I don't know why. I think Racer Brown and Skyjacker have got more to say in this race yet. They're languishing down in 5th and 6th, but remember, they were some of the last ones to make a pit stop. They're out there now doing some qualifying style laps on racing soft tyres. And yes, beware those at the front. Ensign Ewart on an absolute throw at the moment in his Swift. He's doing it. He's doing it, mama. Look at him. Look at him, mum. Top of the world. Top of the world. And Ensign Ewart absolutely throwing that Swift from one apex to another like he just does not care. And the Baz chasing him down but cannot stay with him. He's on the medium tyre. And I don't think the Baz has used his softs yet, so it could be a threat later. Joker's not getting on with the mediums like he got on with the softs, and he's yet to use the hards. They're going to be even worse. But he's got a 21-second cushion from the Pat, who has a 15-second cushion from Mrs. Guesty. Mrs. Guesty doing a 35.6, her fastest of the race so far. And it's slowly getting there. It's just taken nearly 2 seconds out of Pat. Pat had a big off. Did a 41 last time around. Mrs. Guesty's just got a primo spot to go in, I would say 20 minutes from the end, maybe a little less for those tyres. We saw Matt Psycho take his tyres a good 23 minutes into the race, but the front the front right looked decimated. So anything from 20 minutes under, for those that haven't used their soft tyre yet, is going to be absolutely critical that they get that in. Matt Psycho, meanwhile, he'll be staying out as long as that fuel tank will allow him on those medium tyres, because he's yet to use the hard tyre, and he knows his lap times are going to fall off the edge of a cliff as soon as he puts the racing hard tyre on. Homesick Alien is in. He's done with the mediums. And is he going to try and get a set of softs to go 23? Well, Matt Psycho did at the beginning. I did just say 23 minutes Matt Psycho got out of his set of softs at the beginning of this race. And I believe Homesick Alien bringing it in. And now he is going to pull the trigger on that soft racing tyre. And he's going to be a threat. Racer Brown and who's that? Mayumi. Oh, Racer Brown's caught Mayumi up and got one on him. And that puts Racer Brown up into a podium position. But is it real? Bazza is Joker's Homesick Alien. He's coming out in that little area. And the Baz-anator is ahead of the Alien for now. But Barry Twins will be making that pit stop pretty soon, as Homesick Alien now will be hoping to be running all the way to the end, I assume, on that set of softs and that big fat fuel tank. Joker's there, 2.7 seconds behind, but he's got a pit stop to make before the end of this race. Pat also, as Mrs. Guesty comes in to pull the trigger on those racing softs, and a dash to the end with Matt Psycho. Like I said, he'll be hanging out those mediums for as long into this race as he possibly can, as the sprint boys will now be putting their soft tyres on and going for it. Norman's on his soft run. Coming to the end of it. Is fuel still there, though? Is fuel still there? He's still going to be going with 15 minutes on the clock at the end there, I reckon. He's got a good sort of 5 minutes left in that fuel tank. Couple of laps. Well, maybe not 5 minutes. We'll see. Racer Brown, I said a chunk was 7 minutes. That's what Skyjack was getting out of it. Ensign Ewart now in with his softs. Bazza's in, and I think Bazza's yet to use softs. Ensign Ewart will have to go onto a different set of tyres, mediums probably. There's Homesick Alien. He's going to say easy pickings. He was with Mayumi. He has gained on Mayumi. After the last pit stops, he had to get past Mayumi, but Mayumi into the pits, and Homesick Alien up and into fifth. 19 seconds behind Skyjacker. Skyjacker, he can't get the... It's just confusing with the fuel. Racer Brown, I feel pretty confident he's going to have to pit. Homesick's just topped up, hasn't he, to get all the way to the end. So, no, Skyjacker, he's not going to get that fuel to last. For a minute there, I looked, and I had this little sort of glimmer of hope in my heart that half a tank or just under was going to get him to the end, but it's just not. It's just not, is it, in reality? So Skyjacker, Racer Brown and Norman's all yet to pit. Homesick Alien making that pit stop. It's 54 seconds off of the lead. It was 20 seconds before his pit stop. And don't forget, Matt Psycho's going to go onto the harder tyre. It's interesting. There goes Skyjacker answering the question of whether or not he's fuel saving. He's not. So Racer Brown continues on, and we've got less than 20 minutes left of this race. Joker's yet to pit. Mayumi has pitted, put the medium tyre on. Has he used the hard? Is he going to save the hard till the end? Is he going to come in for one lap of hards? I'm not sure. Did he just... Oh, he's just done the hards. I do apologise. Do you know who I'm thinking of? Someone totally different. I can't even think. Mayumi has used the hards. He just used the hards. So unfair on him. Matt Psycho has not used the hards. Norman's has not used the hards, and that is who I was thinking of, sorry. So Norman's, he's going to have to put the hard tyre on when he comes in. He's got Racer Brown 4 seconds behind him, but I think Norman's will be into the pits before Racer Brown gets an opportunity to go for him. Homesick Alien in 4th. Norman's is now into the pits. Norman's into the pits. Homesick Alien up into 4th now because Skyjacker pitted. Mayumi's also pitted. Ensign Newart's out on the medium tyre. Still ahead of the Baz, who's on the soft. So that's race on between Baz and Ensign Newart. And Norman's into the pits. Homesick Alien, is he going to gain on Norman's? Norman's, his pit crew working furiously. There's Homesick Alien, he crosses the line. Joker's now into the pits. And Skyjacker gains a position on Joker's. Norman's is out ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker on the mediums. Norman's now on the hard. And it's only 7 seconds to the 6 seconds. Any more on 6.5 seconds? 6.3 seconds. It's going to be tight for poor Norman's. Norman's is going to have to cling on in the end of this race with Skyjacker frisky as a lamb behind him on the racing medium tyres. Mayumi on the medium tyres chasing down Skyjacker. Then we've got Ensign Newart on the mediums being caught by the Baz. Joker's going behind all of those on the pits. He's come in, he's come out. He's on the hard tyres, but he's got a hunk of time ahead of Pat. So Joker's now, he's not going to, I don't think he's going to gain on the guys ahead of him. But he's safe from Pat, who's gone to a set of softs, and Mrs. Guesty also on a set of softs. Racer Brown is into the pits, but it's Bazza that we're watching. It's Bazza. It's the Baz. He's on soft tyres. He's very tight up behind Ensign Newart. This battle has raged the whole of this. This has been the story of Deep Forest. Do you know when I read you all the bloody map things out, I looked at the wrong map. I was reading your Monza's information. Deep Forest is 2.237 miles, 18 corners in 20 seconds, not 3.5 miles in 21 seconds, because that was Monza. That was from last round, just in case you wondered. I just looked up, I was looking at it and thinking, that doesn't even look like the shape. So Racer Brown into the pits and out of the pits. Oh, I thought he kept 3rd, but Norman's is in there. Oh, Norman's has late braked it into turn 1, and Racer Brown says, ka-ching, thank you, I'll catch you later, what a guy. And Matt Psycho yet to pit, but his fuel tank is screaming for it. And that's him in the pit lane, 54 seconds ahead of the Alien. It was 20 seconds before they pitted. Homesick Alien's gone faster than he's gone in this race with a 33.403. He means to do business. Racer Brown 5.8 seconds behind him on the medium tyre. Norman's picking up damage in that first corner, and Skyjacker only a second behind him. Look at this crazy fish. 45 minutes into a race, and the top guys are only covered by Well, it's a minute there, but I mean, they're all close together. Skyjacker 2/10. Now Skyjacker through with the damage on Norman's car, and Norman's having to suck it up because he saved those hard tyres till the end, and the other guys got them out of the way early doors in this race. Matt Psycho out of the pits. There's no way he's still 55 seconds ahead of the Alien. The Alien must have pulled over and had a cup of tea if that's the truth. We have to wait for the first sector to see a true reflection of the time. Maybe he is. Maybe that was just one of those super bionic pit stops. I don't know. There's Homesick crossing the line, and it's 25 seconds. Matt Psycho gaining time. Obviously, he didn't have to put as much fuel in. He's only put 3/4 of a tank of fuel in to get himself to the end of this race. And no, Homesick Alien did not manage to gain much time. There's a yellow flag that it's not. No. Where is the yellow flag? There's no one with damage. Mrs. Guesty got a bit of damage at the back there. And that Matt Psycho 22.8 seconds ahead of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien, Matt Psycho's on the hard tyre. There's still hope. I mean, I'm not against Matt Psycho, but you know, there's still hope. There's a race on for the lead, is what I mean. Race around 6.4 seconds behind the Alien. At this point, you don't think he's going to have much chance of catching up as Race Around puts a lap on Mrs. Guesty, who gets out of the way for Skyjacker. And Norman's through as well. Norman's absolutely in this race still on the racing hard tyre, hoping maybe the medium will go, but I don't think the medium will go at the end, because that medium seems to be quite a nice tyre around here. None of them seem to have had an issue with it, and it warms up nicely. Mayume 4 seconds behind Norman's. That is one to keep an eye on. Norman's doing a 41.2. Last time out, he's got no grip, and Mayumi absolutely on it. And Bazza has got past the Ensign with his soft tyres, and he's chugging on nicely. Ensign Newer in 8th place, 25 seconds. Joker's had the pace, didn't he? It's just his race didn't come together. Pat 12 seconds behind Joker's. Interesting stuff. And Mrs. Guesty doing it. She had to pull over for a few cars though on that lap. Matt Psycho 21.6 seconds ahead of the Alien. The Alien pushing on those racing softs in that beautiful green Nescafe Blend 37 liveried Renault Megane. And he's pushing hard to try and catch up with Matt Psycho. Racer Brown cannot live with the Alien, and it looks like he's having to settle for 3rd, but Skyjacker hasn't settled for 4th. He's pushing on, and he wants that podium. He's in a fight, remember, they're in a fight. The Alien and Skyjacker, 41 points versus 49 points. And Skyjacker doesn't want that gap to widen, he wants it to lessen. Norman's in 5th, cracking race from Norman's, but those hard tyres at the end are killing him, because Mayumi is on his way in his Renault Megane, and he's gonna give Norman's a huge thing to think about. Bazza 6.5 seconds behind Mayumi. He's done a 33.2. Mayumi on those medium tyres, a 35. Do you know what? Bazza could get 6th in this race. We've still got 11 minutes to go, and the Bazza is on it. Oh wow, that was a 35.4 and a 34.4. So Bazza, he needs to keep in the 33s to catch up with Mayumi in this race. Mayumi pushing hard to try and catch up with Normans, who can only manage 35s on those racing hard tyres. And yeah, Mayumi, everyone's trying to catch everyone up. Homesick Alien is trying to catch up with Matt Psycho, who's on the hard tyre. He's doing good though, with 34.8 out of those hard tyres. And Homesick Alien a 33.1, but the fastest lap is held by Racer Brown on a 32.7. Racer Brown 33.6 he managed on a set of mediums, so still rapid pace for Racer Brown, but he's not gaining on the Alien, but he is really losing Skyjacker either. Norman's, he's doing well, staying with him on the hard tyre, and Mayumi is gains. Big gains, bro. Bazza, 35 last time, he was gaining on Mayumi, but he's dropped off a little bit. Ensign Hewitt seems safe behind, ahead of him and behind. He's on the mediums, Joker's on the hards, and there's 24 seconds between them. Pat might be a danger to Jokers if Jokers makes a mistake on those hard tyres. He's doing 36s and he's just dropped into the 35s, with Pat smashing out mid 34s. And yeah, Jokers could be in trouble come the end of the race. And Mrs. Guesty doing a 140 last time around, just about to cross the line with a 135.4. And Mrs. Guesty are raising the stakes there in the lap times. And in the chat, I missed it, Mama Homesick saying, come on Homesick. It's 18 seconds. He's doing 33 and a half. Matt Psycho doing 34.8. And Matt Psycho's pace is just unbelievable. We've got 9 minutes left of racing, and it's not over until the rather large person sings. And Racer Brown, 11 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker's dropped time there. Norman's back in the action, back in the fight, and he's only a second ahead of Mayumi as well. Oh no, Mayumi's not as close as I thought. So on board with Norman's in 5th place, and he is smelling what fuel the Audi is using today. And Norman's on those hard tyres though, can only dream. Can only dream of making a move on that Audi, but it's not going to happen. 7/10 for the Audi on a set of racing medium tyres. A lot better grip in the corners, and it must have been a small mistake, but Skyjacker put him in the path of Norman's brakes glowing in the Rocco. He'll have nightmares about that first corner. Dropped a lot of time, and now Mayumi is on his way with those medium tyres, and we've got a tricky little battle happening here for 4th, 5th and 6th. I think Mayumi is going to make short work of Norman's here with those medium tyres. Norman seems to be struggling with grip there, especially in the Audi's wake. I think he's found in that dirty air of the Audi, he's struggling in the corners now, where he wasn't before. And Mayumi, with the extra grip of those medium tyres, not being hurt by it as much as they come down that long straight. Mayumi grabbing a toe, ready to put one up the inside of the Rocco. Under the bridge we go, into the braking zone, and it's so easy to drop the brakes here, and Mayumi just staying on the inside. Norman's is on the outside, and it's the medium versus the hard tyre as they come down the hill, and it's Mayumi all day long with those medium tyres, but Norman's putting in a fight that a Viking would be proud of. Great stuff. Matt Psycho, 16 seconds every time we cut to him. It's a little less. 33.8 from Homesick. Oh no, this lap it's gone. Homesick's thrown it somewhere. He's got damage on the front of his car, and Matt Psycho now can take a deep breath because he's just bought himself a little extra time as Homesick Alien throws it at the scenery, and Racer Brown now only 4 seconds behind the Alien. This is now biting stuff because the Alien is starting to damage his front right tyre, and Racer Brown is way up for this. Look at him. He's already got a podium. He wants more. Mayumi up into 4th. Norman's. Where did Skyjacker go? Oh, my Lord. Skyjacker's had a huge one. Huge. He's already done it. So lucky, Skyjacker. You'd already buggered it. So Skyjacker now down into 6th. And that's Mayumi up into 4th. Norman's could not believe it. Now he's up an extra position into 5th. Skyjacker 6th. with the Bazza only 6 seconds behind Skyjacker on the soft tyre, but his lap times have been a little infrequent with 38s, 36, 35s, not the consistency you need to catch up a guy like Skyjacker. Then we have Ensign Ewer in 8th place, 24 seconds still ahead of Jokers, who is only 6 seconds ahead of Pat. That was 10 seconds. Pat is slowly but surely drawing in Jokers. Not last time around though, 35.9 for both of them. 35.8 in fact for Jokers. And Mrs. Guesty at 48.9, but I do believe she's having to pull over to let some cars through, so her lap times are going to be a little up and down. Matt Psycho 18.2 seconds ahead of the Alien, who's gone way... Oh, and now Racer Brown. It's the cold. It's the nighttime chill. It's the nighttime chill. Homesick Alien's fallen for it. Racer Brown has fallen for it. Mayumi too far behind Racer Brown to make any difference. Norman staying with it, and you never know. With only 4 minutes to go, we've seen 3 cars throw it off in the last minute and a half, with Skyjacker, Racer Brown and Homesick. I don't know what happened to Homesick, but he did have damage, and so did Racer Brown. So anything can happen still, and it probably will. Bazza 7.8 seconds behind Skyjacker. He's backing out. His lap times are way off what he can achieve, and maybe he's worried about fuel, but we've got 3 minutes to go and he's got plenty of fuel on board. Ensign Ewer at 5.5 seconds behind the Baz. Jokus 23.2 seconds behind Ensign. Pat 4.2 seconds. He's gaining. Huge gains from Pat. We could have a huge ending here from Pat. Matt Psycho 17.8 seconds ahead of the Alien, who's 10 seconds ahead of Racer Brown, whom is 11 seconds ahead of Mayumi. This is the closest battle, Norman's and Mayumi, and it shouldn't be a battle because Mayumi's on those medium tyres. They are old mediums, and Norman's on the hards is keeping time with Mayumi. Skyjacker had a huge off, and he's 8 seconds behind Norman's, 7 seconds ahead of the Baz. We thought the Baz was on the attack, but he seems to have backed off that one and bringing it home for 7th. He's got to think of his championship. He's 11th in the championship with 18 points, only 1 point behind Mrs. Guesty, and 2 points behind of Pat, and 4 points behind Cthulhu, who's not even taking part today. So for Baz, that's a huge one. He doesn't want to throw those points away. Matt Psycho then, as we're coming into the last 2.5 minutes of this race, crosses the line for his penultimate lap. On lap 37, Homesick Alien 17.1 seconds behind, pushing all of the way, but can it be done? Racer Brown on those medium tyres, 9.5 seconds behind the Alien, 12 seconds ahead of Mayumi, who's only 4 tenths ahead of Normans, and this race is raging on. It is on between the American and the Finnish driver all the way to the flag. They're crossing the line, and they also might get 2 more laps out of this race. And Norman's looking of the inside of Mayumi, but Mayumi stays firm. And Norman's then back on the accelerator, and this race is glorious between the two of them. Matt Psycho leads 16.5 seconds, and he's just about to put a lap on Skyjacker, who is up into 6th place, or down into 6th place should I say. Homesick Alien pushing on, scraping the wall as he gets faster and faster, and Racer Brown pulling some time back on the Alien in this last lap or so. Mayumi, oh no, Mayumi's fuel starting to flash. Should be alright though, shouldn't it? Surely. But he might have to do another lap after this one, and then it might not be alright. Norman's in 5th. Norman's could be smelling that 4th place ahead of him. Skyjacker 6th. His fuel also flashing, and more damage. Bazza now only 5.7 seconds, but Bazza lifted off a little. Now he's back on it again. So maybe Bazza just saving a bit of fuel. Ensign Ewer in 8th place. He seems pretty safe there. Jokus in 9th. And yeah, Pat has done the impossible. Pat's fuel's flashing. But Pat, he knows his fuels. He knows it all. So I imagine that's enough to get home for Pat. And he only has to find a little extra time to take Jokus' position away from him. Pat also in that Bazza battle. And Bazza a couple of positions ahead of him. The final laps come up. Oh, Skyjacker's crossed the line just ahead of the Baz. Ensign Newitt next in 8th place. Joker some 26 seconds behind, but he will be the next to cross the line. It would seem. It seems like we've got a couple of cars close to each other, but they might be just lapping. So Jokus brings it on home for 9th place and manages to stay ahead of Pat just about, and gets 9th, with Pat coming home in 10th. And Mrs. Guesty a little, and there is Matt Psycho takes the win, 4 from 4. He's on his way. He is on his way, breaking another VRC record as Homesick Alien comes around that final corner and brings it home in 2nd place. And Racer Brown rounds out your podium. Take a boo, my son. And Normans did get that position. Oh, Mayumi did run out of fuel. Oh, my word. So Normans comes home in 4th. Great drive from Normans. He's in that battle with Ensign Newitt in the championship by a point, and Racer Brown. And he only just finishes behind Racer Brown in 4th. Great drive from the Finnish driver. And Mayumi just could have had 4th with that fuel, but it just ran out. Sack your team, manager. And that is everyone. And so Mrs. Guesty finished in 11th. Whoo-wee, and there he is, 4 from 4. He should start doing the little dots on his bum. On his bum, just keep putting little lines. All his wins. It's a great stuff from car 16. And in the chat, the floodgates have opened. And Pat saying, spent the last 7 laps thinking I wouldn't have the fuel to get to the end. Was fuel saving a lot. Oh, and I thought you was chasing down Jokus because it was you were catching. Mama Sight saying, super Matthew, great racing, well done everyone, super thingy. Ah, thank you. Matt Psycho saying, great race. Matt Psycho saying, I do like this track. Pat saying, got a lot closer to Jokus than I thought I was going to. And Skyjacker saying, no one has won 100% of races in a single season, but 6 wins from 6 races has been done before. I'm pretty sure that no one has had 100% poles before. I think fastest laps, possibly. Interesting. So let's have a look at the order of the results of that race. And Matt Psycho takes the win after 1 hour and 46 seconds, 0.878. Got the fastest lap of the 33.097. Homesick Alien got 2nd place, 16 seconds behind him, with also a 33.026. Racer Brown rounded out the podium in his Rocco, with a 32.747 being his fastest lap. Norman's got 4th from Mayumi running out of fuel, and Skyjacker throwing it at the scenery. So Norman's got 4th. Mayumi got 5th, and Skyjacker brought it home in 6th place, with Bazza very close to touching distance to Skyjacker, getting 7th, with Ensign Newitt in 8th place. Jokus was 9th, Pat 10th, and Mrs. Guesty in 11th place. Tricky track, tricky bloody track, that one. So well done to everyone who took part. And Skyjack saying, well done, Matt. Thanks, Homesick, for hosting. Last minute. And as always, thank you, Thingy-Majig. My pleasure. Thinking about changing it to Daddy Majig. Matt Psycho saying, cheers, Thingy and Homesick. And Defast saying, yep, I passed the line with 7 seconds left on the clock and no fuel for an extra lap. And Matt Psycho saying, great race from Homesick and especially RB. from the back. Yeah, well done, Nabi. Podium from the back of the grid. Reet, I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Mike Litteris. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. We want you to be involved. Hit like, subscribe, join our Discord. All the links are on our YouTube channel. You've come to a YouTube channel. You're here. If you find the About button, it's got all the links there. You can come and join us. And you too can race like these guys. I want to say, look.
Definitely don't change your name face with tears of joy.
Come on. So... Mama Homesick in the chat saying, well done, Homesick. Thanks, Thingy. And definitely don't change your name. And Matt Psycho shakes his head. So, yes. Thank you, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Friday night, we may have a stream, we may not. That's the jeopardy. That's the intrigue. I think there is a race going on, but I've read nothing about it, so... We'll see. We'll see. It'll be a one-off anyway, so it's not like you're going to miss a championship round. And I've got a couple of in the barrel. I've got a couple of replays in the barrel I need to bring to you. So keep tuned in all weekend. There may be some more racing to come. And next week we've got Tuesday night's classic season of the GT3 World Endurance Series. And then Thursday evening following that, we have the FF Cup. I'll tell you what track he's got written down, but don't count on it. He's got Grand Valley Speedway, but he also had Trial Mountain for this round. So, hang on, I can go elsewhere. Hang on, I can be professional. I'm doing professional this year. It's, yeah, Grand Valley. So join us next Thursday for Matt Psycho taking the 5th win. Or is he? You'll have to tune in next week to find out. Adios, amigos. I can't remember if there's anything else. No, peace and love. Peace and love. Cheers, guys.